Today's lesson we will be looking at QMI 1500. The focus for today will be looking at assignment number 3, semester 02, 2020, and then we'll be focusing on question 1 to 3. Let us start. This is the actual questions that I extracted from the official assignment number 3. So the reason why we are going to be looking at only 3 questions is that we are trying to avoid to make the lesson video to be too long. But you can watch the next lesson video based on this, whereby we'll be looking at question 4 to 6. Now we can see that these questions are based on the chapter called Financial Mathematics, and there is a lesson video whereby we look at different types of equations that we use in this chapter, and also looking at different types of situations, or let me say scenarios, that we have in this chapter. We also looked at how to derive the equations that we use. So it's very important that you watch those lesson videos, and then you'll be familiar with the equations that we are going to be using throughout this lesson video. So for this lesson video, we are basically looking at answering these 3 questions and looking at the possible correct options for these particular questions. Now, before we can look at these questions, let us go through quick basic of this chapter. Now, looking at these 3 questions, we are going to be using only one equation. Looking at these questions, we are going to be using one equation. Now, you should know that under financial mathematics, we have 2 scenarios, which is simple interest and compound interest. Now, for simple interest, which is basically the equation that we'll be using for these 3 questions, we will be using this equation. S is equals to P1 plus RT. This S simply means accumulated value, or accumulated sum is the same as future value. So we know that under financial mathematics, or this chapter, normally we deal with money. You might find a scenario whereby a person would invest certain money, and then after a period of time, that money will accumulate, and then this S represents the future value. This P represents the present value. The name is the principal value, but we can say it represents the present value. So if you invest 100 Rand over a period of 6 months or 6 years for a certain percentage or interest, and then after that period you find that that money is 1000 Rand, so this will be the 1000 Rand, and this will be that principal money, the present money that you have. So this one is just a number, but in the lesson video whereby we describe this equation, we explain how we came across, or how we derive this one. And then this R is the interest. The interest normally is given in percentages. And then this T is the time, or let me say term. It might be in years, it might be in months. Just know that this is the period. So in order to use this equation, we have an indication from the scenario. Now, looking at the first question, it says an investment of 5,650,000 at the simple interest. Now, this actually guides us which equation to use. So since it says simple interest, this is a keyword that we are looking for, and then it guides us which equation to use. Then this is the equation that we'll be using for that particular question. Now, when you continue with the question, it says at the simple interest rate of 8% per year. So we can see that we are also given our R here. This tells us the equation to use, and then this is our principal amount or principal value, present value, will reach 6,780. So this is the accumulated sum. So basically we are looking for, we can see that I labeled these variables or these figures, and then we can see that we are looking for the term. Then our answer should be rounded off to 2 decimal places. So to answer this question, we are going to use our equation. It's actually P, not R. It's P 1 plus RT. And then we have the accumulated value, it's 6,780,000 equals to the present value, it's 5,650,000. And then we have 1 plus our R, it's 8%, multiplied by, we are looking for T. So we can quickly solve for this. Let me use a bigger space so that what we are working with. Now from here, we are going to divide by 5,650, both sides. So basically this will get rid of this. And then on the right hand side, we are left with 1 plus 8% T, it's equals to our term here. Then from here we can transpose 1 to the other side. It's 8% T, it's equals to 678,000, 5,650. Then we have minus 1 here. Then we are going to be removing this percentage, 8%. So what we can do, we can divide both sides by 8%. So we're going to have T, it's equals to this value here over 5,650. And then this will be divided by 8%. I'm just avoiding tower. And then minus 1 divided by 8% also. So punching this on the calculator, our answer will be 2,5. But since the instruction says you must round off to 2 decimal place, so it's 0. Yes. So you can go ahead and look at our options. You can see that option 3 is the correct answer. So option 3 is the correct answer for the first question. We can go ahead and look at our next question. Our next question, which is question 2, it says a man took a loan from a bank at simple interest. Remember this word, simple interest rate of 11.5% after 4 years and 9 months. So here we are given R, and then after 4 years and 9 months, it's our T. He had to pay 2,854 rand and 80 cents, which is our interest for the period. The principal amount borrowed by him was. So we should understand something. These are the interest. When you talk about the interest, we are talking about an additional amount on top of the one that you took. So this is not the accumulated sum. In fact, the principal plus this will give us the accumulated sum. Because remember that when you talk about interests, we are talking about an additional amount. So we should understand that P plus this amount, which is 2,854.80, it's equals to our accumulated. So what he took plus this interest will give us the future value. So we took the present value, and then as he repays the loan, the interest of this amount was added to the one that he took. So using our equation, S is equals to P 1 plus RT, and then here we are going to have our P plus it's equals to P 1 plus our R, we have 11.5%, and then T, you should know that 9 months, it's actually 0.74 years. On the first lesson video of this chapter, we go through how to figure out how many years we have in particular months. So 9 months, it's 0.7, it's actually 0.75, not 74. I'm sorry, here. Yes. And then this plus 4, we are going to get 4.75. So here we'll multiply by 4.75 years. It's 4 years plus 9 months. 9 months is 0.75, and then 4 years plus 9 months, we have 4.05. So in this case, we have to solve for this P. Now what we can do, we can solve for the unknown variable by taking this P to join this one, since they are like terms. So on the left hand side, we have 2854,80, it's equals to, and then we can punch this on the calculator. We get 1.54625, and then that will be P. And then this P minus this P, remember that we have 1 here. So this number minus 1, we are going to get 2854,80, it's equals to, we are going to get 0.54625 P. Remember that this one will simply get rid of this one. So from here we can divide by 0.54625 both sides. It's 625. Then this will get rid of this, and then we have P, it's equals to 5226,1. It's 178, but when you round off to 2 decimal places, we are going to have 18. So this is actually the amount. Now when you look at our options, we can see that option 2 is the correct option. It's actually this one. So number 2, it's option 2. Now let us move on to the next question. Question 3, it says, give the answer to this question correct to 2 decimal places. Martha invested 45,500 in a boutique 5 years ago. Her investment is worth 71,662.50 today. The simple interest of the investment is, so we are actually looking for our R. Now this is the present value. After 5 years, the accumulated value is S, which is 71,662.50, and then this is our period, this will be our T, 5 years. So you can see that we are going to be using our equation again, since we have this keyword here, simple interest. So using our equation, we have S is equals to P1 plus RT. We can actually rearrange the equation before we substitute, but I normally prefer that we substitute and then we work with numbers. But if you can work with variables, it's also fine. Let us actually use the variable method. So we are looking for this r. Then how do we start by solving for this r? We're going to start by dividing by p both sides, so that this will get rid of this, and then we are left with 1 plus rt, it's equals to s over p. Then we transpose this to the other side, we have rt, it's equals to s p minus 1, and then we divide both sides by t. So we have r, it's equals to s over p divided by t minus 1 over t. Then we can go ahead and substitute and see what are we going to get. So our accumulated value, we have 71,662,50 divided by present value is 45,000. It's actually 45,500. Let me quickly verify. Yes, it's this one. And then divide by time, it's 5, which is 5 years, minus 1 over 5. So we get that our answer is 0.115. Now remember that this it's actually converted by dividing by 100. So when you multiply by 100, you are going to get 11.50%. So this is the best option, or the correct option. You can go ahead and look at our answers. Now we can see that if we round off this to 2 decimal places, or it's actually rounded off to 2 decimal places, so the best option, or the correct option, is this one, which is option 4. So as you can see, this is how we work out the question based on a simple interest when we are given information. So the question might require anything from this equation. Might want you to calculate the accumulated value, the principal, the rate, the interest rate, or the period. That's it for this lesson video. Do watch the next lesson video whereby we look at question 4 to 6. This is Bahula SJ. Thank you very much.